Welcome to the Talent with Purpose Project podcast. If you dream of making it in film, fashion, television, or theater, you're in the right place. Join us as we connect with today's top talent agents, managers, and casting directors, as well as performers who started out just like you, bringing you insider insights and expert guidance to help you shine in the performing arts. Brought to you by Gold Talent International, this podcast is your gateway to success, from Hollywood to Las Vegas and beyond. Are you ready? Let's go.
Dis moeilik. Ek sien jy stryk al ja. Alles is vir jou te swaar. Jy het moed verloor, jy's klaar. Jy weet nie wat aangaan. Maar als jy te doen, al voel dit nie altyd so. Waarheen gaan jy in en hoe oorweldig jy verspoel. Ek weet dat jy net soms te veel voel. Sou jy dit kan verstaan, dat die lewe soms moet aangaan. En ek nie langer meer nie kan wees. Dis okay om te wees.
Today's guest is an extraordinary South African pop performer, known for his theatrical style and unapologetic artistry, who has become a trailblazer in the Afrikaans music scene. His debut Afrikaans single, Met Jou Klere Af, went double platinum, racking up over 5 million streams and 4.6 million YouTube views. Since 2023, Armand Joubert's music has gone viral on TikTok with hits like Under Op My Lyf, Vasho, Dance Same with Kevboy, and Sexy Genoeg, earning more than 7.8 million streams. He's opened for international star Jamie Fine, headlined both Pretoria and Johannesburg Pride, and collected multiple awards, including Pop Song of the Year and Male Artist of the Year. Bold, theatrical, and unstoppable, Armand Joubert is redefining South African pop through his purpose-filled energy and complete love for performance. Are you ready to hear about the passion, purpose, and ambition that it takes to be in the world of entertainment? Are you ready to meet Armand? Let's go.
So much for having me. It's a big honor, and I'm excited to just have a nice chat with you.
I think it's going to be great. We're going to have lots of fun. So I'd just like to lead in with the question straight away into this podcast is, why are you in this business?
Well, firstly, I cannot imagine myself not singing, not making music. Music is my escape. It's my saving grace. It's my outlet. It's my expression. It's just everything to me. It's my best friend. And I always say to people, I feel like I kind of knew before coming into this life. I think my soul knew that I was going to do music, and maybe my flesh or my brain couldn't comprehend that, because many, many times I've been in hard situations where I didn't know the outcome, or I didn't know how it's going to be possible to go for my dreams. But I think my soul knew, and I just had to go for it. So music is my everything. That's why I'm here, through all the trials and errors and everything. It means everything to me. So that's why I'm here.
Well, you've been really singing since you could speak at 5 years old. That's when this whole process really started for you. So,
Yes.
As Lady Gaga often says, we're born this way.
Preach.
And then, she's also said something also very beautifully, which I saw in an interview with her a while ago, that she says, you can walk into a room, but that room is only a room until you put music in it. And in that music, you need to bring art with you. And that reminds me very much of you, of how you are able to combine your music talent, which you've worked hard for, with a sense of artistry. Some will call it flamboyance, but I would call it living in an art form. And,
Yes.
this is what combines to create the performer that you are.
I love that. That's beautifully said. Thank you.
Armand's going to come in next time with big flowers on his shoulder and over the top, more over the top headwear, right?
Yes, absolutely. I'm just yeah, I think it's a part of the way I express myself. Whenever I make music or whenever I think of a show, I already think of it's that thing of how am I going to present myself in the room? How am I going to make people look and make people wonder and make people think? Because that's our job as artists is to challenge the mind. So yeah, I love playing with outfits and always being different. And my mom always taught me if you get on the stage and people don't stop with what they're doing, you're doing something wrong. So I always thought to myself, that was a very interesting thing that you always said. So I made sure that if I'm going to make music, I'm going to make sure that whatever I wear goes with it so that people can stop with what they're doing and look. So, yeah.
From my experience in the industry, I know that it takes a huge amount of work and practice and effort to create an act, to create any performance, whether it's a song or whether it's a stage performance or whatever's needed. And I don't think the general public truly realizes the work and effort that goes into creating any of these particular processes. What
Hmm.
does it take from you to put something together?
Wow. Uh, so much time and overthinking. But I always feel like whatever project I take on, it's almost like a spiritual experience for me because I feel like it always starts with the music, but I feel like whatever the universe sends to you is like it's whatever you write or whatever you come up with regards to art and music. It's like a spiritual thing. And if I don't take this idea or take this moment to create it, it's going to go somewhere else or it's going to go to another artist. And so many times I've experienced not taking an idea and running with it. And then, like, maybe in a year, I'll see it or I'll hear it somewhere else. So, yeah, for me, creating and doing what I do is a very spiritual experience. It always starts with the music. And then once the music is complete, I start thinking, how am I going to put that through my visuals, through how I present myself? So it's all kind of linked. It all comes like in phases, depending on the project. And yeah, I feel like it just comes. It's like you have to take it from the atmosphere. Otherwise it will go to someone else. Yeah.
And when that happens with you, do you know the end result of what it is that you want to share with an audience or with your viewers and followership? Do you know what you want out of it?
Mm. Mostly, yes. Mostly, I have an idea, but sometimes it surprises me because what I envisioned is not necessarily how people always experience it. They'll have their own interpretation of the song or the music video or the performance. And then I kind of find that cool because I feel like me as the artist, I am satisfied, but I also did something where I could help someone else by perceiving what I'm doing. And even though it's not what I visioned it to be, but it helped them or they saw it as something else. So that's a quite cool experience for me.
I think it's quite magical where we are able to allow people's perspective of something to
Yes.
change who they are, and so that they can get the best out of it for them. So we're not force feeding anything to them, but allowing them to live in their own reality, I think is a good word we could use.
100%. Yeah. Because everything is about perception and how people perceive it or receive it. And not everyone's lens is the same. Everyone looks at something different. But if you can talk to a whole room of people from different backgrounds or different cultures or whatever that may be, I feel like that's something quite special that we as the artists get to do. And I think Yeah, I think that's why we have such a special part in this world, because we can talk to so many different people about so many different things in like a second and in a room together. That's quite cool.
And with that comes a responsibility to be authentic within who you are, as that form of expression needs to come out in terms of oneself, who one really is.
100%. Yes, it's very true, because I feel like the public is very smart, and sometimes people in the music industry or artists think they can fool the audience, but they can see it because art is truth. And if it's not truthful, people find a hard time to place it. So yeah, I feel like the audience is very smart, so you should be very authentic and real with them with what you put out. Otherwise, they will notice.
They will
It's all about
notice.
authenticity. Yes.
Yes, very, very much so. I've seen that so often as well in terms of some of the performers we've worked with over the years, is that level of realness has to be concentrated in the moment because that's what makes the impact.
Very true. Very, very true.
I'm really enjoying the aspect of your understanding that who you are and what you portray and what you bring out is a spiritual experience, because to me, the performing arts always has been about healing humanity,
Yes.
healing people.
100%.
So, yeah, how do you enhance that? How do you improve on that process?
I think for me, growing up, I'm actually just going to dive into this. Growing up, I never had someone in my own culture here in South Africa in Afrikaans music, because I grew up in an Afrikaans household. I speak Afrikaans, and uh, it's very conservative. There's still a lot of closed-mindedness in my community, and I never grew up with someone that was just truthful when it comes to their sexual orientation. So I never had an artist to look up to and say, "Oh, I want to be like that," because I'm queer and I'm open. And I think what was important for me was to become that person in Afrikaans music that can say, "This is who I am. Uh, I'm willing to take the judgment. I'm willing to take the fall for it, but I know that this is a responsibility. I have to be so true to myself in order to inspire other people coming up that are also queer and different." And that's what I've always felt like, with my journey is very important for me to just be 100% myself. And sometimes that can come across as arrogant to some people, and sometimes it comes across as entitled. But I'm willing to take the good with the bad with all of that, because I know my duty is to bring change in my community. And for a long time, I actually wanted to pursue music on an international scale, and I always aimed at that. I always aimed to hopefully have a song one day in the UK or in the US, and have those big dreams. But I've realized is that I had to come back to my own culture and my own background and make change here, and then yeah, just be the change that's needed here, because sometimes we have to come back to our roots. So yeah.
This is a very deep conversation, and I'm sure many of our viewers are going to enjoy the process that goes on with this. It's so important to
Mhm.
understand that we have to be who we are. We cannot be carbon copies. And sometimes the mold has to be broken of belief system of what people think artistry, music, performance is all about. And this is such
Very true.
a huge moment for people to realize, because even when we get youngsters auditioning, they're coming up as carbon copies of ABC, Beyonce, Whitney, all the popular ones. And these people are coming from all sorts
Yes.
of backgrounds, but they are influenced by the success of those particular artists instead of understanding that the realness of who they are is what would create the success for them to be a performer as a person, not necessarily as a performer, but
Yes.
as a person. And that's the reality that needs to be created.
100%. Because I think that's something I had to realize as well, is it's okay to take inspiration from others like Beyonce or whoever your heroes may be, but you'll never be able to be them. And I think once you can go, oh, I can take a bit of this from this artist, whether it's the way they write music or their melodic references or their choice of fashion or how they create their visuals. If you can take a bit from that and take a bit from this, but still stay true to yourself, you can start shaping your own artistry and your own vision. And that's very important because you can't be, Beyonce is already taken. So we need you. We need you to bring change and be your own kind of amazing.
That is such a incredible connection. You know, the synchronicity of life is amazing. And this is not a plug for me, but I've just released a book about a perspective for the gay person searching for themselves, about them being the God beings amongst mankind.
Wow.
And that's a huge challenge for many people to understand that process. But then
Yeah.
as the book proceeds, we can prove a lot of it and look at it
Yes.
along the way.
Wow.
And how can we be anything else but who we are if we expect the world to change or not to change? You know, that kind of thing. So
Yes.
well done in realizing this. You're very young as a person still. And it's so wonderful to be able to hear this coming, you know, words of wisdom from somebody from such young age. It means you learn from an early age. You need to be who you
Yes.
are.
Absolutely. And I'm so grateful for that because I was exposed to so much in my life at such a young age, and I went through so many hard lessons. But I'm so grateful that I had to go through that because now I can apply it in my artistry. And also, whether you like it or not, people look up to artists and they almost see us as someone of hope. And if you don't have enough life experience and people want to draw inspiration from you, or for instance, come and talk to you after a show and get advice from you just because of your music and the impact that you've made on them, it's very, I understand why I've had to go through all of the things that I had to go through in my life, because whenever I see my fans after my shows talk to me about stuff that I've never even went through, but maybe because of my life experiences, I can help them. Not just through my music, but also just with an encounter with me that makes me very grateful that I went through everything that I went through, just to be able to have a little bit of sympathy and empathy with people.
Yes, absolutely. We need to understand where people are, and that sometimes music or entertainment or that performance is a moment of clarity for them, a moment which can change their entire structure of the way that they think and feel. So there is definitely
Yes,
a responsibility that goes with that as an artist.
absolutely. Yeah, and I feel music is so powerful. It's even more powerful than people that are. I feel like it's more powerful than politics. I feel like it's more powerful um, than church gatherings. And obviously, church and religion is its own conversation. But I mean, I think the main reason why those why religion is also so powerful is because of music. So yeah, music is really it's a gift, and I don't take it lightly at all. Yeah.
Well, what church nowadays doesn't have their own band or singers or group performing?
There we go.
So
That's how you move the congregation, is through music.
it's very much an emotion shifter, I would say.
100%. Yeah, it's once again, it's that thing of you control the room. You can move a room just by a note. And I think that's why religion or wherever music finds itself, it's so powerful, because it can make a whole group of people feel something with just one note. That's very powerful.
It is very powerful, and also very powerful to understand you have that ability to do that.
Yes.
I know of some performers that change the structure of an audience's emotional process just with that one note or just with that ability to run with a certain level of tone or whatever it is that they need to do.
Absolutely.
Well,
Beautiful.
congratulations. Yes, great wisdom from you, Armand. That's wonderful. I'd like to
Thank
ask
you.
you about your debut album, this Year Too Theatrical. I mean, is that not just
Yes.
imprinting exactly who you are in
Yeah.
some very defined way?
Yes, absolutely. So, Too Theatrical is I'm so proud of that project still. I mean, I think it's now almost 7 years or 6 or 7 years that I brought it out. And I was so proud of that moment because the inspiration behind the album was dealing with everything that I didn't like about myself because of people's opinions, the fact that I'm gay, the fact that the music industry in South Africa told me that I will never make it here because I'm too gay, my voice is too high pitched, I'm too theatrical, I must go sing cabaret or go into the world of theater. I'll never make it as a pop artist. So I basically took everything that was negative and I said to myself, but that's why I will make it because I am all those things. I'm different and I just have to embrace it. So I basically took my power back with that album.
There's so many incredible gems and jewels of wisdom coming out of our conversation because I think that's what makes an artist. There are so many youngsters out there that want to be in the industry and have the talent. And yes, they may
Yes.
have the ambition, which is sometimes changes a lot, but they start to believe producers or directors or whatever it is that you can't be this, you've got to be that in order to make it.
Yes.
But I think your next
Yes.
album should be I've defied the odds and not listen to anybody but myself. I think that's what your
Yes.
next album should be. So you got to work on that.
Yeah, that's so beautifully said because oftentimes when you're young in this industry and you come up, you look at all of these people that you've looked up to in the industry or you know that has power in the industry. You look at them and you go, wow, I just want an opinion or I just want an input from them. And when they give you their input, you take it at full face value, or maybe not even full face value. You take it for the truth, and then oftentimes when you don't have the wisdom or you don't have enough life experience, those opinions and advice of those people can really bring you down because you just want to be seen. You just want to be approved, like get their approval. You just want to have a place in the industry. But I had to realize that a lot of those people are just people and they have opinions. And just because you have an opinion doesn't make it right. And a lot of people have their own limited beliefs. And if you're not wise enough and secure enough in yourself, whatever they will say will affect you. And it did for some time. It did affect me and it did hold me back. And I felt very horrible about myself. But I had to push beyond that so that I can reach my full potential because I know all the things that they said about me. You're too gay, you're too theatrical, you're too weird, your fashion. All those things are the truth. Even if they don't like it, I have to like it so that I can make it work for myself. And yeah, I'm glad I did that.
Well, I think South Africa should be very proud of the fact that you have done that and taken up there because you are, Afrikaans are baanbreker, you challenge I'm going to use the word the norm. It's not my favorite word to use because I don't know what normal is. Let's just say the usual. You challenge the usual and you challenge the mindset. So I do think that there is this sense of defiance within you that says, I won't be put into a box.
Yes, absolutely. And if you put me into one, I'll probably break it down or tear it apart.
Yeah.
You're with the Talent with Purpose podcast, where passion meets action and stories light the way. If you're interested in watching new episodes, please remember to subscribe by hitting the bell icon. Please share this episode with your friends and family so they can connect with our platform and be inspired. You can also inspire other people who may be interested in our world of fashion, arts, and entertainment by posting in the comments section below. Just a simple hello or even commenting algorithm will drive this podcast to others' feeds and screens. Let's put purpose into motion and add to the whole. Thank you for subscribing and valuing our content. Are you ready for the rest of this episode? Let's go.
But that's why I will make it, because I am all those things. I'm different, and I just have to embrace it. So I basically took my power back with that album.
There's so many incredible gems and jewels of wisdom coming out of our conversation, because I think that's what makes an artist. There are so many youngsters out there that want to be in the industry and have the talent. And yes, they may have the ambition, which is sometimes changes a lot, but they start to believe producers or directors or whatever it is that you can't be this, you've got to be that in order to make it.
Yes.
But I think your next album should be I've Defied the Odds and not listen to anybody but myself. I think that's what your next album should be. So you got to work on that.
Yeah, that's so beautifully said, because oftentimes when you're young in this industry and you come up, you look at all of these people that you've looked up to in the industry, or that has power in the industry. You look at them and you go, wow, I just want an opinion, or I just want an input from them. And when they give you their input, you take it at full face value, or maybe not even full face value. You take it for the truth. And then oftentimes when you don't have the wisdom, or you don't have enough life experience, those opinions and advice of those people can really bring you down, because you just want to be seen. You just want to be approved, like get their approval. You just want to have a place in the industry. But I had to realize that a lot of those people are just people, and they have opinions. And just because you have an opinion doesn't make it right. And a lot of people have their own limited beliefs. And if you're not wise enough and secure enough in yourself, whatever they will say will affect you. And it did for some time. It did affect me, and it did hold me back. And I felt very horrible about myself. But I had to push beyond that so that I can reach my full potential, because I know all the things that they said about me. You're too gay, you're too theatrical, you're too weird, your fashion. All those things are the truth. Even if they don't like it, I have to like it so that I can make it work for myself. And yeah, I'm glad I did that.
Well, I think South Africa should be very proud of the fact that you have done that and taken up there, because you are, Afrikaans are baanbreker. You challenge I'm going to use the word the norm. It's not my favorite word to use, because I don't know what normal is. Let's just say the usual. You challenge the usual, and you challenge the mindset. So I do think that there is this sense of defiance within you that says, I won't be put into a box.
Yes, absolutely. And if you put me into one, I'll probably break it down or tear it apart. Yeah.
So from what I've seen over the years, it's taken you, even from the time you were in The Voice, it's taken you several years to get to the point where you have figured out who you are and what it is that you want to do, and doing it. And this is a big lesson for anybody wanting to get in the industry, that instant fame is great, but it only happens to one or two in the world.
Yes.
They don't understand the work and the effort, the tears, the energy that's needed in order to maintain that growth.
100%. Yeah, I think, how can I say this? Fame is so needed, because it's basically the tool we need as artists to make a living. Because if you don't have people in the seats at your show, you can't make a living out of it. But I don't think whatever you do should be driven by fame. I think you should be 100% authentic in yourself and work hard and be grateful to constantly work, even though if it takes like 10 years to become famous or to become a name. Be grateful that you're constantly working, because if you're constantly working, that means your name will constantly get out there. Your name will constantly be growing in the industry. And that's all these things that I'm saying is exactly a reflection of my career. I did The Voice. It was amazing. I kind of like got a quick glimpse of fame because everyone was like talking about me and like it was very exciting. And then I didn't get very far in the competition. So I left the competition early. And then obviously the show goes on. The show went on. The winner, so people kind of forgot about me. But I had to keep on working, and I saw that opportunity or that platform as an opportunity for me to build a career. And that's exactly what I did. I just kept pushing, kept doing shows, kept releasing music. And I wasn't defined by being a contestant once on The Voice, but now I've got my own career, and The Voice was a platform. So each and every opportunity that comes your way, you should really just use it as a stepping stone, and then fame will come. Eventually it will come.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
whatever it means. I mean, fame doesn't feed any artist, but it does
Yes,
create a platform for them to go and be more creative and express who they are.
100%. And you're so grateful when it comes, because now I have, when I do shows, I have people coming to my shows and singing all of my songs back to me, and after the shows telling me what my music means to them or how they interpret it. And it's such a beautiful experience for me to have that now, because that's what I've always wanted, is people to relate with what I do. And I think you should always just look at fame as something that you need, and not something, how can I say, not people needing you, but it's something that you need. You need the people. You need people to play to. You need people to listen to your music. You need people to relate to you. So always be grateful for the people instead of making it just about yourself.
And I think you've got that going, because I've seen some of the TikTok challenges of your dance moves where there's the aunties from Bethel or somewhere else doing those iconic
Yeah.
moves which you've created.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's so cool. And that's honestly where it happened for me, was on TikTok. I remember releasing my first Afrikaans song, Met jou klere af. And it was so interesting because I was kicking very much against doing Afrikaans. I didn't want to do it because the fear of judgment, people, being conservative. And then I did a show this one time, and this one girl came to me and she said to me, "When are you doing Afrikaans? Because we need a gay icon." That's basically what she said to me. And I was like, you know what? For some reason, that just stuck with me. And then I went home and I wrote my first song, Met jou klere af. I pitched it to all the labels. Everyone rejected it. And then I just said to myself, you know what? I'm just going to post it on TikTok. And I created my little dance. And the next moment, that song just blew up. And everyone just started doing the dance, whether it's aunties, omas, like young girls, boys, like everyone was doing that dance. And it was so cool to see the power of TikTok and how you can make it now as an independent artist. And that song changed my life. That was like my big hit. So yeah, it's very cool to see people like make content to your music.
And Armand, do you do your own choreography?
Yes, I do.
So everything is in-house, everything is independent, and you have
Yes.
no outside influence except for who you are.
Yes, 100%. Sometimes I'll collaborate, like a bit for later in my career after Met jou klere af. I've collaborated with some, choreographers or people in the industry that I really find inspiring. But I've always decided, and I'm glad I stood by it, to keep the last say. It will always be me. Like I'll always have the last say and be like, I'm gonna make sure I'm happy with it. No one has control over it, but I can bring people in now. But I'm still in charge.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, every song you've created and published and built and released into the world has had its own unique choreography as well.
Mhm.
When are you going to run out of moves?
I don't think I'll ever will. I think it's like it's the same as music. It's the same as words. If you think about it, there's so many words you can use, or only so many topics that you can write about. But yet we always still find new ways to write about something or to write about love. I mean, how many love songs are there in the world? But still, everyone's interpretation of it is different. I think it's the same with dancing. There will always be something new that I can learn. Or if I make music, I kind of just start grooving and discovering a new move, and then yeah, I just keep on creating.
Yeah, I think that's the key word to always look at as an artist, in your category of performance, which is independent and authentic, is just be the creator.
Yes, absolutely, always.
So that's fantastic. Yeah, so really good. You've had so many songs. I mean, you've had Met jou klere af, you've had Hande op my lyf, Vashou, Dans saam mee. I think there's a new one out as well now. Am I right?
Yeah, there is a new one out. It's called So Yay. Yeah, so I've over the last 2 years, I've done the work. I've released a lot of music.
And the Afrikaans world is celebrating and dancing with you.
Wow. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for that because, yeah, I keep coming back to the whole thing. You know, it's like sometimes you just have to come back to your own, to your roots so that you can bring change there. And I think it's so cool to see because the last place I expected to blow up was in the Afrikaans world because I never thought they would appreciate all of this. And now they do. So it's beautiful and so nice to see. Yeah, very grateful.
It's very exciting to see it all happening. And I think, especially for a South African artist to be able to conquer that and then own that particular process is important for the reason that we are so far removed from the other parts of the world that has all this creation going on.
Yes, 100%. And you never know who's looking at you. You never know who you're inspiring. And I think that's something that I hold dear to my heart because sometimes I feel so alone in what I do because I feel like I am one of the firsts that's, you know, bringing change in my community and being different and not being like the rest. But sometimes that can feel quite lonely because you I don't have anyone to look up to or draw inspiration from or take advice from. So I have to just figure it out. But when I get to my shows and I have young queer kids coming to me and telling me, thank you for your music, thank you for being a voice for us, or just kids coming out to me in my DMs on TikTok or on Facebook, people messaging me and telling me your music has given me the platform or the opportunity to come out to my family, or that really makes everything worth it. That's why I'm grateful that yeah, I get to do it. Even though if it feels lonely, I'm very grateful because I do it for them. So that makes me not lose perspective at all because of seeing how it affects other people.
You know, Armand, you can either be a follower or you can be a leader. And it's quite clear what you've chosen to do. So when we're a leader, there is no road ahead that has been formed yet. We have to create and open those doors moment by moment.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you.
Thank you indeed. I really appreciate all of that. Now, you headlined for Jamie Fine, correct?
Yes, I was her opening act.
Well,
It was amazing.
That's an exciting moment. How were you feeling backstage before you had to come on?
I was so nervous because obviously you're the opening act. I'm the opening act, so people are there for her. But I was so surprised when I got on stage and kept, you know, with every show that so many of my own fans came to show support as well. And that was just the best feeling to be able to be put on a platform like that and to tour with an international singer and do it independent and not really have anyone in the industry support me, but just seeing the power of my fans and how they've supported me through the years that I can be here right now. And it was just absolutely amazing. And Jamie was so incredible as well. I definitely felt validated and supported. Yeah, it was amazing.
Well, that's another artist who just rose up in the industry suddenly, and
Yes,
just spoke to people and spoke to their hearts, and people
yes,
resonated so incredibly,
yeah,
with Jamie as an artist.
100%. And it's so cool because I think, if I understand correctly, just by what I've heard her say, South Africa was the first country that embraced her, even before her own country. She's from Canada. So her music blew up here first. And once again, it's one of those things. It's like the power of social media and the power of authenticity. She put her song out, and people here resonated with her, and she went platinum and here, and she came and toured here. And it's amazing to see. You never know who's watching. Once again, you never know who's
You
watching.
never
You
know.
never know who you're inspiring. So it's really cool.
That's the prime rule for us as a performer. You don't know who's in your audience. You don't know what could come from any of that. So long as you deliver who you are and give people what they are wanting from you because of their experience of you.
Yes. And that could open so many doors for you. I always say that to, because I get a lot of messages from young upcoming artists, that's like, I just want to be famous, and like, how do I do this? And I'm like, just make sure you pitch every time. Make sure you're disciplined. Make sure you give your best, even if there are just two people watching, because one of those two people might be one of the biggest execs in this industry. Might be might be your future manager, might be someone that you don't even know has impact in this world. So just give your best, and doors will open.
Yeah, we're a very big proponent of that. If you want it, it's there for you. Just go and get it and work with it on that level of
Yes,
never, ever stopping or giving up.
yes. And always be disciplined. I think that's the one thing that I'd like to hammer on, because nothing great comes easy. And if you are really dedicated and disciplined in what you do, you'll be great. And then when you're great, more great things will follow. But I sometimes think, with new upcoming artists, once again, they see that fame side of it, and they only look at that, but they don't look at, like, I need to be great. Because if fame comes, or that opportunity comes, and you're not great, it can be a disaster. So just be your best. Be disciplined in what you do, so that when the opportunities come, it's like second nature to you. You can just go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you need the experience in order to gain that experience. It's like a catch-22 that goes on. Yeah, I must say that anybody that we've worked with and auditioned in the earlier years of our platform, it's taken them 3 to 4 years to get into the industry properly. And the only
Yeah.
way they can do that is to get out there and just show up.
Yes. And sometimes that's the hardest thing, because we all want that instant gratification. And unfortunately, in this industry, it doesn't work like that. I mean, when I got my big break, I was 13 years in.
Yeah.
It didn't happen like in my first or my second or my third. It happened 13 years later. So you really have to do it because you love it, and because you're determined to make it. And as long as you keep that drive and ambition there, something will happen. Something will fall into place. But I guess it's also coming back to knowing what's your purpose. Because no matter how many times it felt like I'm not making it, or I want to quit, or like it's just not happening for me, my spirit knew, like my soul knew, that somehow it's gonna happen. I just have to keep showing up, keep showing up, keep showing up. And then it eventually had happened. It happened.
Yeah, it also happened because you'd worked so hard on yourself to live authentically and look at the barriers you've had to overcome. That
Yes,
sense of self that says, I can't do this because of A, B, C, D, or I'm going to get, um, people are going to put me down, that kind of thing, which they're still doing to you today on some levels. But the
yes,
keyboard warriors are meaningless.
yes.
Um,
There's a saying that says, just do you, the world will catch up. So even if it feels like everyone's against you right now, but this is 100% who you are and the artist that you want to be, just keep doing that because eventually they'll come around. They will.
they will, well, or they'll just disappear quietly in the background because they don't belong on that same road, you know?
True. Very true.
So just as we start finishing off our conversation, Armand, you've won Top Song of the Year awards. You're the Male Artist of the Year. I mean, huge congratulations. That's incredible.
Thank you. Yeah, I still can't believe it. It's like one of those pinch me moments. Those are the moments that makes everything worth it. All
Yeah,
the
that's
heartbreak and disappointments.
yeah, that's like its own reward for everything that you've done and achieved for yourself.
Yes,
So
100%.
congratulations.
But I keep saying as well, uh, no matter how many awards you win or how many streams you get or how popular your numbers, how much it climbs, I think the biggest award at the end of the day is that you have an audience. And that's what I'm very grateful for because that's what I've worked for. So now everything else that comes is just, it's a nice little cherry on the cake.
Yeah, very much so. I think one's inner happiness is so important to live. And if
Yes.
that happens to be on stages and being theatrical or not,
Mm-hmm.
or just
Yes.
performing as another form of artist, of which there's so many
Yes.
forms. Are we happy? Or are we not happy? Because that's success.
Yes. Amen.
So that's great. So I just want to finish off our conversation by giving a little bit of Lady Gaga moments again, which we started off with. So
Mm-hmm.
in this interview I saw, she said that in the early days, she couldn't get gigs. So what she would do, she would phone up certain venues and she'd pretend that she was Lady Gaga's manager and put another voice on it. And I think if that's one person we can see in the industry who's had determination, there's
Yes.
stories of her pushing her big piano down the road to bars and just pushing it into a bar and start playing in her early
Yes.
days. And then she would have to push that piano back up the road again. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know. But I like the
Yes.
story and I like the determination and the dedication to doing what she wanted to do.
Yes. Once again, showing up when no one else does. That's the key.
So we've shared quite a bit about what new talent could do, people who want to be in the industry. I'm going to ask you if there's anything additional you could add to that aspect or those points that you made about never give up to newbies coming into the industry.
Yeah, I think that is it's so cliche, but it really there's a reason why certain things work. There's a reason why certain things are cliche because it is what it is and that's a part of life. And I always tell people, remember us as artists, a lot of us we kind of like we either stop going to college or we don't continue doing school or we don't study because we want to perceive this or we want to pursue this dream. um but just like anything in life, there's a university, there's something that you have to, there's a learning course. So I think those first few years of your career, see that as you going to university, like becoming better in your craft, in your skill, in your talent, learning all the hiccups about the industry and the things to look out for, trying and failing, standing up again. Those are your those are your learning years. Those are you studying to become the artist that you're supposed to be. And then once you get that big breakthrough, like your first hit song or something happens, then you graduate. And then once you graduate, you need to start working. So once you graduate, you need to keep up with, just because you now have one hit doesn't mean you just made it. You have to keep on writing music, keep on putting it out, keep on performing, keep on showing up. And then before you know it, things will just like really move into place for you. So I think it's just keep showing up, keep being disciplined, and keep staying true to whatever you feel is right for your artistic choice.
Such a powerful moment to end our podcast on.
I'm glad. Thank you.
Armand, thank you so much for sharing that deep side of yourself and that truth of who you are and the authenticity of just the being who is making up Armand, and just for sharing who you are with not just South Africa, but the world. And we will hope for you and trust that where you're going will open more doors and the road ahead is easy.
From your lips to God's ears. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Armand.
Thank you
and
so
we'll
much.
chat again shortly. Good luck with all of that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
It was fun. Cheers.
Thank you.